This is KFOX 14 News at 5.
Well, across the U.S., there are now more than 600 confirmed cases of measles, raising concerns about a possible nationwide outbreak. I'm James King. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, medical reporter Liz Bonis shares what doctors say we all need to know to try and slow the spread. And in a related development, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he applauds the Supreme Court's ruling on former President Donald Trump's use. In a narrow 5-4 decision, the court lifted a lower court's order that had blocked the Trump administration from deporting Venezuelan migrants under the rarely used 18th century wartime law. But the justices ruled that migrants must still be given a chance to challenge their deportation before being removed from the country.
We do applaud the ruling for the Supreme Court.
And federal judges have ruled against the administration more than 40 times, blocking everything from immigration moves to changes in birthright citizenship, federal spending, and transgender rights. Welcome back. The threat of severe storms and destructive tornadoes across the South and Midwest is over, but the danger remains as flooding submerges cars, roadways, and even homes. Reporter Brian Abel brings us that story.
That road is completely underwater.
Meantime, at least 58 people are dead and many more are injured in a Dominican Republic disaster. Among them, well-known merengue singer Ruby Perez. A nightclub roof fell early this morning during a concert, pinning people inside, and desperate rescue efforts continued today. It's not immediately clear what caused the roof to come down. Well, we turn things now to our weather here in the borderland. Forecaster Nasaya Mancini joins us. Nasaya, how's it looking outside?
Well, James, I definitely know that you are a hot weather fan, so good news, we got some warm weather headed our way.
Well, President Trump is easing up on his global trade war, at least for now. He's slashing tariffs on most nations to 10% for the next 90 days, hoping to calm global markets after weeks of turmoil. But he's doubling down on China, raising tariffs there to a staggering 125%, targeting the country that's pushed back hardest against his trade policies. Still to come, we learn about a motorcycle crash in East El Paso, plus where you'll want to be if you want to learn more and give your input on a proposed rate increase by El Paso Electric. That and more is coming up on KFOX 14 News at 5, coverage you can count on. Well, the El Paso County Sheriff's Office says one woman is in custody after a burglary at a storage facility in far east El Paso County. Deputies arrested Amanda Rudolph on Monday. Investigators say she stole more than $13,000 worth of property. Thanks, Brad. Back to national politics now. Democrats have found a new political villain in Elon Musk, and they're betting the strategy will work again. The National News Desk, Jeff Harris, reports.
This plan is getting mixed reactions.
And today, a jury will decide how long an El Paso man will spend behind bars after being convicted of manslaughter. KFOX 14 News at 5's Julia Spencer was in the courtroom today covering the sentencing phase of this trial, which included victim impact statements. Julia. Experience rolled into El Paso Community College today. Local artist Laura Turon transformed an old school bus into an immersive installation called Enchanted Skies, which stopped at EPCC's Valle Verde campus in the Lower Valley this morning. The interactive exhibit is designed to give communities with limited access to galleries a chance to experience high-level art for free. And according to students, it was well worth it.
I really like the force perspective thing with the side and the sides of the bus.
Turon says the piece was inspired by the Northern Lights and held a talk after the showcase about the creation of the piece. Well, Broadway is back in the borderland today, and we spoke with cast member from the Tony and Grammy award-winning musical Hadestown that's set to take the stage at the Plaza Theater in just a little over a week.
I think that what I want people to take from their performance.
Shows start on April 17th to the 19th, and for more information, you can click on this story over on KFOXTV.com. Well, the IRS has reached a deal with Homeland Security officials to share sensitive taxpayer data with the federal immigration authorities. As part of the deal, the IRS will turn over information on undocumented immigrants, people that Homeland Security says are already facing deportation orders and being investigated for federal crimes. The deal is part of President Trump's broader crackdown on illegal immigration. A crash near South Central El Paso led to the arrest of 3 undocumented immigrants. It happened last night at Paso and Loop 375. According to investigators, a Texas DPS trooper witnessed a blue Chrysler minivan crash and rushed to help. The driver then took off on foot but was quickly caught by the trooper. Inside the vehicle were 3 undocumented immigrants, including a 45-year-old woman who suffered minor head injuries. EMS treated her there at the scene. Border Patrol agents later took custody of the driver and the 2 passengers. As of now, no further details have been released.
But take a look at that 95, mid-90s by Saturday. We'll cool down just a little bit by next Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah, very excited for some warmer weather as
Warmer
we
weather.
get into fully swing of spring, right?
Yeah, and the good thing is the winds, they're going to be just a little bit less.
All right, good. I'll be on the golf course then. That does it for KFOX 14 News at 5. We'll see you right back here again tonight at 9.
More breaking news in Tulsa tonight. Fire crews have responded to a fire at the Mohawk Mobile Home Park on 36th Street North near Sheridan.
News Channel 8's James King is live at the scene. James, what have you learned?
Well, Aaron and Mark, as you can see behind me, what you see is the remnants of a mobile home here. Fire crews still battling to make sure the flames are put completely out. Now, since we've been out here, we spoke with a couple people. We also talked to the one gentleman who was the first to call 911 out here. The man you see in the black baseball cap over there was driving down the street, saw the flames, stopped, and came and called 911. He also knocked on the door of the gentleman you see to his right in the red and white hat.
And that is a wrap from the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Fun fact, if you're a Notre Dame fan, the last time Notre Dame got a win in the Sun Bowl, the next year, well, they went to a national championship game. So we'll see if history can repeat itself for the Fighting Irish. Now, stick with us later tonight at 9. We'll have even more highlights and reaction from the 90th annual Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. For now, from the Sun Bowl, James King, KFOX 14.
Grocery stores packed as they make a dash for last-minute necessities before the storm. News Channel 8's James King is in North Tulsa at Oasis Fresh Market. James, how is the toilet paper stock looking there?
Well, TJ, here at Oasis, they do have a lot of toilet paper in stock, which is a good thing. You know, there's been a lot of people coming in throughout the day. I'll stop at the way so you can get a look at the parking lot here. The good thing for most of these people, they did pre-treat this parking lot, so it's fairly easy getting in and out. But the great part for people who have been coming to Oasis, as opposed to places like Walmart or Reese's, they've been fully stocked and restocking those shelves by the hour.
Well, we are now hearing the next steps for the New Mexico State University men's basketball team, who this week had its season suspended.
Sports director James King live in Las Cruces. He's inside the Pan American Center to break down what those future plans are. James.
Well, Robert, it was the first time that both NMSU Chancellor and Athletics Director Mario Mocha spoke publicly since the termination of Greg Heyer's contract, but the impact that this will have on the program is already clear.
Fighters, this is the main event, and it's for the featherweight world title. You've been giving your instructions. Protect yourselves at all time and obey my commands. If you want to touch gloves, touch now. God bless, and let's do this.
If you've watched the UFC, chances are you've probably seen Joel Ojeda, a Sunland Park native and El Paso resident, inside the octagon.
I went from doing local shows to doing televised shows to doing pay-per-view fights, and then a couple of years ago I got the call to do my very first UFC in San Antonio, and from there it's been already a couple of UFCs under my belt.
Also known as the Bearded Ref, a graduate of legendary UFC referee Herb Dean School, became the first ref from El Paso to ever make it to the top level of the sport.
I always take Sunland Park in El Paso, Texas high wherever it is that I go. Once you're standing there, you're looking at the cage and looking all the way around, you feel a sense of pride. You feel that this is what I've worked hard for.
And with over 100 professional bouts under his belt, Ojeda has seen some of the best fighters in the world.
I've been able and blessed to be in the cage with world-class athletes, amazing fighters. But I can guarantee you I've never seen a tougher fighter than a child that's going through childhood cancer.
A fight that Ojeda, unfortunately, is far too familiar with.
2 months after my daughter's second birthday, she was diagnosed with cancer, and it was then that, you know, they told us the words that I can still hear at times when they say your daughter has cancer. So at that point, the battle began.
His daughter fought for 10 months before passing away in 2018. But her legacy lives on in the Gold Corner, a nonprofit started to help families going through what they had to endure.
I am the president and CEO. I don't say that I'm the creator. I always say my daughter's the creator. She created the nonprofit organization and she left that so I can continue running it.
Now Ojeda carries the Gold Corner to the UFC. Fighters who usually have their support system of coaches and trainers now supporting children in a fight for their lives.
I've been able to introduce a lot of professional fighters to kids that see them on TV. Every single MMA fighter says we have a choice to stop fighting. These kids don't have a choice. So to them, they're like, these are the real fighters right here. No parent should ever have to bury their child, but it happened to me, and unfortunately I'm not the first and I'm not the last. But I did make a promise to my daughter, and I told her that I was always going to share her story, one, and two, that I was always going to do everything in my power to help other families and other children that are going through what she did.
Despite the heartbreak, he's found strength in their promise, a commitment that carries on.
Every time I step into the cage, every time I step in, I just, I give a little kiss to heaven, because I know my daughter's with me, and I know she's proud of everything that I've accomplished. God has blessed me now more than ever, and I'm just enjoying life and thanking God for all of his blessings.
Yeah, and for Joel, a major milestone. Just last week, he got engaged, sending well wishes to him and his fiancee, Carrie. Now, inside the octagon this weekend, Ojeda heads to Colorado to referee at the Karate Combat 53 and Battle MMA Championship Fight Night.
News Channel 8's James King is live in Sand Springs with what else police have learned since yesterday. James?
Well, Kim, in the words of Sand Springs Police Captain Todd Ensbrenner, this has been a tragic and heartbreaking situation for all involved. The Sand Springs Police Department and the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigations have been working today on what they are now calling a murder-suicide. Sand Springs police are still working to answer the biggest question. What happened that led one of the parents to kill their entire family and then themselves? And they're hoping the answer is somewhere inside this home where police worked through the night collecting evidence.
We can't lose sight of the fact that there's a family out there that's suffering because they've lost 4 loved ones at once and they don't know why and they don't know how. And so they have a lot of questions, and we want to try to provide them with those answers as best we can.
A neighbor of the family who declined to provide her name says that she was worried when her block was shut down, but that before yesterday, there was never a sign that something was wrong.
It's just really sad. I remember watching the dad taking the little girl by her hand and walking over to the Quick Trip over here and bringing back something to drink and some candy, and they seemed like a very normal couple.
Police haven't released the names of the victims to allow the family to notify all of their loved ones, but tell us they are a 41-year-old female, a 31-year-old male, and their 2 daughters, aged 4 and 2. And a day that was supposed to be filled with celebration took a tragic turn.
The information that we had gotten was that the adult female and male in the house were supposed to be celebrating an anniversary later last night, and something went wrong.
Captain Ensbrenner says that they believe they know the cause of the family's death, but currently they are waiting for confirmation from the medical examiner before releasing that information. Now, that neighbor that I spoke to said that while she didn't know her personally, she went and prayed with the grandmother for her family. Live from Sand Springs, James King, News Channel 8.